Okay. Let's see. Boop. There we go. Hello, everyone. Can I be heard? Everything good? And no, there's not supposed to be music. Thank you, though. Hello. Okay, everything seems to be going good there. Alrighty. Hello. My name is Du. I'm gonna do a streaming thing, I think, here. And probably a few more times after this, probably. Considering all things that were put into this. Yeah. So, how about we get this going? Let me tell you about myself, yeah. Welcome to my Intro-D-U-ction. By me, about me. So let me tell you a bit about myself. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's really funny. I have to click on the slide in order for the arrow keys to work. Okay. So, here's me and all my my glory over here. The full body art brought to you by Bree. Thank you very much, Bree. I'll get to more credits later, but my name is Du. As far as what I am, there is no real easy explanation for this. You'll see I don't have a species listed because, well, in order to be a species, there had to be more of us, and there isn't. There's just me. I am just sort of a entity created out of energy, and I look as however I'd like, and this is how I've chosen to appear. So that's me. I'm the only me. So if you're gonna call, I'm Du. That's all there is. I am a Du. I am Du. I am a Du. So that's the best I got for you. Sorry. No one else. Yep. Do the Du. True. Theoretically, I don't really have an age. I've just kind of existed. But mentally, I seem to behave like a 20-year-old human-ish around that age. The form I take is 5'6", which, I mean, you can figure that out in your more sane metric units if you like. I have it there. I was born August 31st, supposedly. Don't ask me how that works, but it just lines up with that day on your guys' calendar. And despite the always existing concept, time did begin, but didn't begin. It makes sense. Don't worry about that. Currently, I preside in the great state of Michigan in the United States. You don't get anything more than that, though. Not that there would be much to give you. And I did just recently, actually, graduate on your Earth University here with a degree in history and political science, which I think is quite neat. Though I only speak English, unfortunately. I've tried a few other things, like Japanese, but I struggle with that, funny enough. However, I've been getting a little bit into coding, and I foolishly included that on here, though anyone who actually does coding to any degree that is worthwhile is probably scoffing at that, and it's hilarious because it's really just two languages that are relatively similar, and then like a minor thing that you have to do in order to do what, like, 'cause HTML or CSS doesn't really count. That's fucking me bloating shit there, but yeah, I do dabble in the coding, so, and I figured it would be more interesting to have there than just English, so it's there, cool. I play a lot of video games. Those are cool. I also watch stuff, which I very vaguely included in here as watchable media, but I mean, like, TV shows, anime, movies, YouTube. I like watching a lot of YouTube. Lately, more streaming type stuff. I'm not totally used to watching that type of thing, but I have been watching a little bit more of that now lately for obvious reasons, perhaps. I don't know if you've heard of streaming. It's kind of neat. I also do dabble a bit in writing. I do like writing and doing stories. I haven't done any of that lately. I'd like to do more of it. I also make maps, and also just visual design in general. Most of the stuff you see here and will see, I did make the overlays and the slide design and all that was me. Other than the lovely art here by Bree that is due. Everything you see has been designed by me. So I do that type of stuff. Moving on, let me tell you a little bit more about the, I believe, next thing. Yeah, what I like. In general, you'll see a lot here on like learning and history and whatnot, because of course, you know, my path in education I've taken, those are the types of things that interest me. I will rabbit hole down Wikipedia on afternoons. That happens. So I just learning in general, but in particular history and culture and that type of thing. I do like traveling that goes along with that. Going cool places is fun. Bree does enable me, yes. Bree will also send me down those rabbit holes. I'll get a DM with a wiki link and be like, huh, interesting. And then, you know, an hour later, I'm 10 pages further in. You know, it's fun. It's a great way to burn a lot of time without realizing it. I also, I put on here, I like older YouTube because newer YouTube bothers me a lot. I just call me an old YouTube boomer for how the old site worked like a decade ago. But it is what it is. It's not like new YouTube is unusable, but I did prefer the olden days. I also like organizing things I put in here. One of the things I will do frequently is like just go in a crazy hyper-focused mood on like, oh, this is a really neat topic or thing. Let me make like an Excel fancy design sheet and organize a bunch of information about it all together and make it all pretty and whatnot. And that just pleases me greatly, and I will spend days on those types of things, and it will come with little benefit other than you know, looking at it and being, hey, that's neat now, and then I will move on to the next thing. But yeah, keeping things nice, orderly, organizing things into neat like charts and whatnot. That's great. I like that. I also like space. If you couldn't tell based on, you know, the aesthetic of being just an unusual space entity, that, you know, goes along with being out there in the galaxy and whatnot. I like learning about the planets and all that. I'm not super big into science otherwise, but I do think like space is fun. Space is cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing what NASA has upcoming in the next few years, because there's some cool stuff they're doing. As far as things I dislike, at the very, very top and very, very significant, I do not like people who very intentionally want to be ignorant about a thing because they just don't, like, especially if it's important. Like, I guess there's one thing if you're like, I don't want to listen to or know what the heck Taylor Swift is doing, that's one thing. But if like there's significant things going on, especially things that affect you, and you're like very intentionally being like, no, I don't want to know about that, or I don't want to understand, or I'm not gonna bother. It's not that big of a thing. I fucking hate you. Go to hell. At the very least, don't shove it down my throat that you're like just intentionally being a dumbass over it. Anyway, I also hate the cold weather, which is fun being in Michigan. Though at least sometimes Michigan decides to not be stupidly cold. But then, you know, the next morning you'll get like a blizzard and have 2 feet of snow. That's great. And I don't like that. I stay inside and I can be warm inside, and I don't have to worry about freezing to death. I I included poor vexillology, right? Because that's just a really dumb, fancy way of saying bad flags, poor flag designs. Because like I said, I'm into visual designs, and flags are very much fall under that, and there are good and bad ways to make those, and some are made very poorly, and I hate it. Shout out to the old Georgia flag. Anyway, I also dislike just generally, you'll see that I do generally play most types of stuff or watch most types of stuff, but one thing that I typically don't is horror and zombie type stuff. Mostly just because I think it's really boring. Like, if you're super disappointed, like, oh, that's we can't make them play the scary horror games and have fun and whatnot and spook him. Like, you trust me, you're not missing out on anything. I would sit here, I would play through it. You'd get like no reactions out of me, and I'd probably just be like, "What? Why did we do that? That was dumb." Like, I'll just nitpick the plot holes because usually they're not like super plot orientated. Because the point is obviously to, bring up your adrenaline, scare you and whatnot, and that doesn't work on me. So it's just like a really poorly made. They're just boring games to me. And if at best they're boring games, and at worst they're like just terrible messes that I will nitpick apart. So yeah, that we avoid those. I avoid those, and it is what it is. It's for different people. That's fine. I also really dislike just being overly competitive in general. And if you are the type of person to start flaming randos in a chat on like online game or whatnot, I will make fun of you, and it'll be a great laugh because you just look like a fucking joke to me. It's just dumb. Like, they're video games or sports or whatever it is. It's just any degree of like unnecessary, like angrily competitive at each other. Like, it's just fucking just don't. It's trying to enjoy living over here. Oh right. Just realized I just blatantly put food on here, and that probably doesn't make any sense to anyone who doesn't know me remotely well. Yeah, I don't eat food that much. That's a whole thing. So I have certain issues with eating food, which has kind of led me to not eat a lot of, like, it's a very, very, very strict diet, which then just kind of leads to, like, there's a lot of people like talking about food and things they like, which is fine, but I get kind of sick of it, and because I don't have much to add, I'll even jokingly add things sometimes. So it's not the biggest deal, but I don't generally care for food. And that skipped over the swimming thing, sorry, I just remembered that probably sticks out to people, and it hasn't been explained yet. Yeah, I don't swim either. I don't care much for water in general. I don't have actually much more to say on that. I don't swim. And then yeah, fuck Zelda 2. Zelda 2 is an awful game. Don't. It can go. Whoever designed that is a masochist. Moving on. Here's some of my here's a bunch of my favorite games actually. I went all out. I filled this whole slide with a ton of them. I just wait a bit. Though I did have to narrow it down to certain games from certain series, because otherwise there'd just be a lot of repeat stuff. At the very beginning, you'll see Wind Waker. That's by far my most just favorite game period ever. Wind Waker, childhood favorite. Nothing tops it yet, at least. Though I'm a bit biased. I don't know if that'll be topped. And in general, the Zelda series in general, I love it. Except Zelda 2, that one can go to hell. But the rest of the series, all good. Varying favorites. I could probably rank the whole thing if I really wanted, because I have good enough opinion, thought out opinions on them all. I think I've played all of them except Spirit Tracks. That sounds right. I think that is the case. Nah, CDI doesn't count, Bree, and we're not going to discuss that any further. I do like Genshin Impact, and I in general like open world exploration. That's why I really like Breath of the Wild for that reason. Genshin Impact in the same vein. I like the exploration and especially the lore, the way they do lore and world building in Genshin is really great. I like that. The hack and slash genre, or whatever the watered down name for that genre is now, like action character, whatever it is, I generally like it. And one of my favorites, one of the classics, I think at this point, is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Really good game, really hilarious. And just in general with I like cutting things up and just running around and combo mashing and stuff. It's great. Another childhood favorite is Luigi's Mansion. You'll find that have a high bias towards things that you can kind of collect stuff in, especially if they put it in a really nice presented way. It's why one of the things I like about Wind Waker is the Nintendo Gallery. Luigi's Mansion in particular, I really like the original one on the GameCube. I really like the portrait ghosts and just filling the gallery up with ghosts. It's just great, and nothing against the more recent ones, but it's just the way that that one game is presented is I like it a lot. And you'll see that throughout a few of these, that just the aspect of collecting things in various ways pleases my soul. Super Paper Mario is just another classic, or not classic, but childhood favorite of mine. I played that one a bunch. Good story if you haven't played it. I enjoy puzzle games in general. A few that named here are Portal and the Room, Portal and the Room, more traditional puzzle type stuff. If you haven't seen The Room before, and you like puzzle games, go watch the trailer. It's really cool. Nothing else like it that I've really seen. Portal, I don't want to explain, of course. I think most people know Portal. Pikmin, I categorize puzzle. It's a little bit more actiony, micromanagey type stuff, but I classified it for puzzle purposes to fit it in here. And in particular, Pikmin 2 is my favorite of the franchise that I've played. I haven't played 4 yet. I would like to play it though. I like, of the ones I played though, I like 2 the most, which is funny because most people who've played the franchise dislike that one the most. But I like both its difficulty, and I like the caving thing. People usually don't like the caving thing in that one, but I like it. It's cool. RPGs, if your RPG has a good story and gameplay that isn't ass boring, I will probably enjoy it. And at the very top of this, of course, Persona 5 got everything. The story's awesome, the gameplay is great and smooth, the soundtrack is amazing, everything about that one, I love it. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, not 2, but as well, Xenoblade Chronicles as well. Also fantastic story, good music, bit more traditional JRPG type game than Persona 5, but still really good, love it a lot. Final Fantasy 14, great MMO. I'm playing that. You'll definitely be seeing me play it here within the next week, almost certainly. I have to continue on to Endwalker, but loving it so far. Few rough spots, but otherwise I think it's one of the best MMOs I've seen, like gameplay design and developed wise. It's just really good. I grew up on Pokemon. I have mixed thoughts on the newer stuff, but I was raised on Gen 4 and 5, so of course those are my favorites, and I specifically listed those out here. I think just people in general, favorites tend to go back to what the ones they played in childhood, and those are the ones I played in childhood, so they are good stuff. Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black and White 2, good stuff. Gen 4 is the best, Ken. Thank you. I knew what you meant, yeah. Elder Scrolls. I haven't actually played a lot of Elder Scrolls, but I really like the game, and simply for its lore and world building style. And it's funny, most of my, the history professors I've had that play video games all usually point out Elder Scrolls because it's just so well done from the perspective of how the game world's history is portrayed, with books, with historian writers with their own biases and whatnot, and you have to pick apart things and deal with the various racial biases and whatnot within the writers, or conflictions between different sources and whatnot. Is great. I love it. It's awesome. I would like to play more of it, and I definitely will at some point. And also, Dungeons and Dragons, good stuff. I mean, unless you don't like socializing with folks, I think most people can get behind Dungeons and Dragons. Is a good time, good stuff, and do pretty much whatever you want. Turtwig is the best. You know, I usually jump towards Chimchar, but to be perfectly honest, I think Gen 4 is the only gen where I can look at all 3 starters and be like, yeah, I like all of them. So I'll give you that. Turtwig's pretty good. I do like Torterra as well. Good starter set that region. Moving on, 4X games which are a bit more technical. Things like Civilization, basically usually set on grid systems, though Stellaris is an exception here. The 4X is standing for exploration, expansion, exploitation, and I think extermination, which is a wonderful bow to put on all those. But basically, usually you're playing some form of a nation or whatnot, which plays into, again, I like history. And usually they're historic. They aren't always historic. Stellaris isn't. There's a few others on Steam that are pretty big, but the ones that I play are typically the more historical type ones. And they're great. In fact, once this introduction is over, we're gonna hop into Civ 6 and play start up a new game of that, so that'll be fun. Social games, Jackbox are a great time party game, love that. And then Ultimate Werewolf and Among Us are both the same kind of vein, social deduction type stuff. I like me some social deduction every once in a while. I enjoy the mystery, and I guess especially when they can mix in a bunch of roles like Ultimate Werewolf does. Some Among Us mods do that now. Well, I haven't personally played those. I should. Those be neat. But yeah, I like that type of stuff. I also, as a creative person, enjoy sandbox creation type games. I only listed Minecraft here, which is mostly because Minecraft has just kind of taken that whole genre over, both inventing it and still just being the king of it. God, if Minecraft tracked playtime, I guarantee you it would be the highest playtime game I have, period, because I've just dumped a ton of time into it. Welcome, June. Hello. I'm glad you can make it. Good lunch. Anyway, where was Minecraft, right? I played since I think it was 1.3 in Minecraft. So I've been playing it for a long ass time. I had a brief break, the same period that I think most people did after 1.10. And it kind of came back with like the Nether update and whatnot, and been playing it again. Right now I'm on a little bit of a burnout, but I'm sure I'll be playing it more and streaming it and stuff, so I see you, Bree, and I'm ignoring you because you're a liar. I smell of a liar, and you taste of a liar. Other stuff I like that don't really fit into any like genre that I play a lot of. Super Smash Brothers. I like Super Smash Brothers. I don't really play many fighter games, but I like Smash Brothers in particular. It introduced me to a lot of other games when I was younger, which was great. That's a good bonus there. But currently, Smash Ultimate, great game, love it. Totally see myself playing some of that on stream if I get that figured out. I have to figure capture card out, but I could totally see myself doing that. Overwatch 2, again, don't play many shooters, but I do like Overwatch 2, like the world built with it, and I like the less aim-focused playstyle to it, even though then I'll pick Widow like every other game now, but it's whatever. I like it. I like that it's not just a standard military shooter type thing. Stardew Valley's good. When I was younger, I think it was either a DS Harvest Moon or a Game Boy Harvest Moon on the DS or something like that. And I enjoyed that, and as I got older, there was never really anything like equivalent to that because Harvest Moon kind of fell off, I guess. But then Stardew Valley came around, and it's good. It filled that kind of empty void there of that style of game, with planning out a farm and whatnot, and I like it. It's cool. And I threw on the Stanley Parable because it's hilarious. If you haven't played the Stanley Parable, go play it. That's all I'll say about that one. Stardew did do that. Stardew blew up. It's crazy. Here's some other things I like that aren't video games, or games in general. I included Ultimate Werewolf and the others. Anyway, stuff I like that's not games. There's I like anime and movies and whatnot. Most of this is anime I listed on here. Like Full Metal Alchemist, Naruto, classics. JoJo's great. I listed part 2. That's my favorite of the JoJo parts. I think nothing against the parts that come after it, but I feel like the stand concept kind of ended up formalizing it a little bit more. Making the plot a bit more formulaic than I would personally like, but it's still good regardless. Part 4 was good. I liked that one a lot, and to be fair, it was a less formulaic one, so that probably is why. Yeah. Brie, you're a weeb, I know. Death Note's a classic from teenage years. Go figure. Aho Girl and Watamote are just funny ones. I like they're my favorite 2 comedic ones, I suppose. Nothing quite to compare them to. If you haven't watched them, you just kind of have to watch them, I guess, to know what they are about. Just shenanigans. I've watched basically almost all of Studio Ghibli, but my favorites among them are Porco Rosso and Spirited Away. Spirited Away needs no explanation. That's just a really good one. And then Porco Rosso is just hilarious because it's a pig. I think the pig is funny. It is also set in World War II, but that's not. I swear, not everything I like is just tied to history. But it's a pig flying a plane. I think it's great. You should watch that one if you haven't. Naruto the last movie, or the last Naruto the movie, excuse me. I'm pretty sure whoever titled that one like threw up English words. Anyway, really good movie. I haven't watched all the Naruto movies, but I've watched a good chunk of them. That's the only one that's like canon, and it's for the right reason because it's the best one that they've done, and it's just a good one. Of course, don't just watch it without having watched the series, but if you're watching through Naruto, that's the one you gotta watch. Otherwise, as far as non-weeb stuff, excuse me, I like Marvel. I've watched it pretty religiously, practically, up until like recent years where I've gotten behind a little bit, not because I'm upset at it or dislike it like people I think have gotten, just haven't had the time to keep up with it lately. I would like to catch back up with it at some point, but I generally like them. My favorites from it are probably Endgame, obviously. That's the kind of the cop-out one, but also Doctor Strange and Black Panther. Those ones are great. Either of them. Both have 2 movies at this point. All 4 of those good ones. Oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is awesome. If you haven't watched that, those ones you could almost get away without watching the other stuff, except for probably the 3rd one. But Guardians of the Galaxy is just good stuff. James Gunn knows what he's doing. Anyway, other than that, WALL-E is just a childhood. That's probably the movie I've watched the most, to be perfectly honest. Other than that, like maybe Monsters Inc. But that WALL-E was one that I watched on repeat as a kid, and I still like it. It's a good one. And I watch Jeopardy just on the regular. You'll notice that I will usually probably, if I'm in the mood to stream for a whole day straight, I will still probably end up breaking for that hour that Jeopardy is on, because I will go and watch Jeopardy because it's not available on streaming, and they don't really play the repeats of those consistently enough. So yeah, I will I will prioritize Jeopardy, and I do like watching it and answering the stuff. It's great. As for music, funny enough, growing up, due to circumstances, I wasn't that into music until like probably late high school. Is when I finally actually started listening to anything, and even then it was fairly limited, and what it was video game soundtracks, and still is today the main thing I think of when I think of like the music I listen to. I listen to video game soundtracks. So you'll just see here I've listed a few of my favorites from some of my favorite soundtracks, and from games you saw on the previous slide, mostly Persona 5, Final Fantasy, and Xenoblade, and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. All have great soundtracks, and these are all these are my picks for what I could fit within this slide without making the text super tiny. Other than that, anime openings. I like listening to some of my favorite anime openings. You'll see the very, very last Naruto one is my favorite Naruto one of the like 40 that there are now. I also like the Ignite Sword Art Online's 2's opening was like I think one of the first anime openings I like obsessed over and listened to over and over and over again. Even if the anime got a bit rough, but I still like both those openings, both Ignite and Crossing Field, the original first one. Good openings. And in more recent years, Demon Slayers is really good. And oh, you know what? This slide should have been updated to include Frieren. That is very, very recent, but Frieren deserves to be on both of these because, quite frankly, it is easily one of my top anime. It might just be my top anime now. My Brotherhood easily it was before, but Frieren, honestly, so good. If you haven't watched that, watch Frieren. And its first opening, I love that first opening. Second opening's okay, but the first opening, that's some golden anime opening there. Anyway, oh yeah. Next, outside of more nerdy or weeb type stuff, the closest stuff I listen to that is quote unquote normal, or I guess what the average person might listen to, I suppose, is Weird Al, which is saying something that's the closest thing you'll get to what I listen to that other people might listen to. But I do like Weird Al. I don't listen to any of the songs, the normal songs that he's parodied, but I will listen to his parodies because they're great. They're hilarious. I also listen to The Who, which is, out of everything in this whole sideshow, probably the most obscure thing it's on it, because it is a Mongolian folk metal band, which is great. I love it. That's it's good stuff. If you like metal or rock or any that type of thing, and you don't mind that you can't understand the lyrics, which I think is becoming more normalized now. It's good stuff. I also, threw in the Hamilton musical because, of course, history guy here likes the history musical. Go figure. And it was everywhere for like a year, so no shockers there. What do we have next? I believe is my rules. Okay, let's go over these real fast. I don't want to spend a super big amount of time. I have quite a few of them, but I will explain a few things for how I'm going to run things. Rule 1 is just kind of a basic, be nice. Pretty straightforward. Don't think I have to explain that. Be nice and respect people and the rules. Don't show up and be like, your rules suck. Obviously straightforward. Don't have to explain much more. I am 18 plus. I am an adult. My friends are adults. While we aren't explicitly like an adult community, we are still, I'm still gonna maintain 18 plus only. If you aren't, get the fuck out. That's your first warning, and probably only warning. So, yeah. I also only speak English, as mentioned earlier, and as such, I can't. Really, June? You think about that. Anyway, I only speak English, therefore, I can't moderate any other languages if you come in here and speak them, so don't do that. I unfortunately have to enforce that because I don't have many other options. I'm not going to get mods to moderate other languages that I myself cannot speak, so, it is what it is. Rule 4 through 6 there, probably the most significant things as far as, like, abnormal stuff. As seen earlier, I am a political science student, or not student anymore, I'm a graduate. So I'm a bit more like used to that type of thing. It doesn't bother me as much, and as such, I can handle it probably better than most, so I don't mind dealing with it. However, and also, I myself will probably blurt out random little things at times. It is what it is, and I don't like making rules that I myself can't keep, so I will allow political and religious speech if I start the conversation, and we keep it light, and in the case of religious speech, neutral, because you come in here trying to like evangelize me. One, you're wasting your time, and two, I'm not gonna allow that. You're gonna get the boot. Or the alternative, you come in here and start hating on some group or whatnot. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. But I do think that religion, like, is of cultural interest in being me and enjoying, history and culture that will probably come up a bit more than most. I don't know. It's not going to be the focus of this channel whatsoever. I will be playing I'll be playing video games, but in the off chance that that stuff comes up. No, I haven't heard about our Lord and Savior Final Fantasy XIV. Please tell me more. Sounds interesting. Anyway, and yes, I am saying keep it related to the topic. Don't just show up and be like, "Did you hear so and so said so and so on ANC News or whatever? What are your opinions?" Like, no, I'm not gonna fucking answer that. I'm gonna ban you immediately. But if I make like a little poke or something, and you like have something to say, I don't know. I guess nothing like too super deep. This is. Hello, thank you, Ducky, for following me. Why are you following me? What did I do? I don't. Why are you here? But no, really, thank you. I forgot I did that. That threw me off. What was I saying? Oh, right. If I bring something up and it is lightly political in nature, I mean, I'm not gonna just expect everyone to not say a word about it because it's political in nature and I ban political speech. Like, no, I'm not doing that. But I also am gonna like not go into full-on debates or rants, hopefully. So same thing with religious speech, though that one will probably be a bit more casual. I mean, we're gonna play Civ later, and there's religion mechanics in that. So yeah, and then of these, really the most important one here is number 6, which is, and regarding both of those in 4 and 5, it is directed at me and for me. I am the one who set those rules. I am the only one consenting to that speech. So, like, for instance, if I have a guest on, if I have Shami here guesting with me, don't show up and be like, "Shami, what is your thoughts on so and so?" Because do commented on, don't do that. I probably won't bring it up, so you'll be off topic anyway. And 2, like, no, I am the one who allowed that. And yeah, the point is basically don't be argumentative, and don't try and push that stuff out of other people just because I've allowed it. It's me, I'm allowing it. And same thing goes if I'm on someone else's channel. Don't take that there. Because fun fact, Twitch does have shared ban lists, so if you go get yourself banned because you brought my political stuff to someone else's channel that I was on and you get banned there for that, you're probably gonna be banned on mine at that point. So don't do that. Don't, keep it minimal, and yeah, don't. That's a good point. Yeah, the TLDR with all of my rules. Don't be a dick. That's great. Number 14 there is a very important one. Most everything else after this is pretty straightforward. Some people allow spoilers and backseating, I guess, but I fucking hate both of those with a passion. So don't do either of those unless I've like explicitly permitted them. Like, I'll be very blatant with it as well. Otherwise, I think most everything else is straightforward. I think we can move on. Yeah, good luck with that, Ken. Expectations for what I'm going to do. Here you go. I mean, right after this, we're going to be playing Civ, and I expect I will continue that Civ game until I finish it, and probably more games after that. I also would like to boot up Stellaris again and start playing some games of that. I have a few ideas in mind for that. Minecraft, I will definitely be up for playing some more, I think. I am in a little bit of a burnout on it, but I'm sure streaming might help me out of that, but also, like, I'll get back into it at some point, I'm sure, and I'll be just playing it constantly, so, and I will almost certainly be streaming that type of thing. I do really want to get into, like, making a custom map or something, like making the creative side of it rather than the survival side of it. That that interests me. I could see myself maybe doing that at some point. Probably not immediate shortlist soon types thing. That's more so joining servers and whatnot and playing survival and whatnot. But I could see myself in the future doing some more creative endeavors with Minecraft. One thing that you are for sure going to immediately see this week at some point, I wanted to do it tomorrow on Monday, but then Yoshi P decided that was a good day for server maintenance, so I might not do that Monday. I might do that Tuesday instead, but I will be beginning Endwalker in Final Fantasy, and I will probably just binge the hell out of that this month, so expect that. I play Overwatch 2 on the regular, and I have no reason not to just stream that casually when I'm playing that. And if he's fine with it, I'm sure Bree will join me at the minimum for that on the regular. I'd like to play through Persona 5 Strikers as well. I've played through Persona 5, and Strikers is like a semi-canon sequel-ish type thing, and it's hack and slash, and I've played Hyrule Warriors. I loved Hyrule Warriors, and Persona 5 Strikers is a Persona Warriors. It looks really fun. I want to play it, and I will probably start playing that as soon as Shami finishes a personal playthrough, so that we all can watch the semi-canon sequel thing, whatever that means. I am also in, at least currently, one Dungeons & Dragons campaign, and if I can get the setup stuff for it, I will probably start streaming my perspective in that campaign. And I don't see any reason why I wouldn't stream my perspective in other campaigns, unless like I explicitly don't have permission to do that. So I figure once I get off my lazy ass and make the OBS scene for it, I will probably start streaming my D&D sessions, which are going to be a pretty set scheduled thing on currently the current campaign I'm in is every other Saturday, so that's when you can expect that, every other Saturday night, I should say. So yeah. Stuff I would like to do in the long term is, one, return to Genshin Impact. I haven't played that since the patch after they released the very last Sumeru Desert was the last patch I believe I played in, and at that point I had 100% explored every area that existed in the game, everywhere, including all of the desert in Sumeru, which I'm told is quite a lot by people who have not done that. But I haven't touched Fontaine whatsoever. They released like a big area in Leeway as well. You talking about D&D, June? I think you mentioned that to me. I am semi-interested, depending on the specifics of it, so keep me updated on that. Anyway, Genshin, right. Genshin, I would like to continue and play as thoroughly as I was before with the newer stuff. I'm looking really forward to Natlan. That will probably be the thing that pulls me straight back in. If I don't get around to it myself before it releases, I will probably want to jump in for Natlan. Though the big thing there is the next thing here. If I can get I have a capture card, and I think I have everything I need to stream my Switch, but I have to actually set it up and learn how to do that. Once I do that, I would like to stream some stuff off of my Switch. And of those is Tears of the Kingdom. I played like a chunk of it, but I didn't remotely come close to finishing, and I would like to finish it on stream. And that was the main thing that stopped me from playing Genshin in the first place, because I didn't really want to play two big open world games like that at the same time. Mentally, it just is too much. So depending on when I start that back up to want to continue, it will probably be the thing that determines when I get back into Genshin. So we'll see. I also have Pikmin 4. I haven't played Pikmin 4. I mentioned that earlier. I want to play Pikmin 4. So that's another one I would probably jump into pretty quickly if I got the Switch set up and going. And other than that, maybe some, like smaller like Smash Brothers stuff. Maybe Splatoon. I could, if it's functioning. Splatoon 3 was rough at launch. But I would like to play those in a smaller capacity. And Metroid Prime 4, when that comes out, day one, I will totally play that. I'm looking very forward to that one. I'm also looking at perhaps at some point Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Like I said, I really like Elder Scrolls. I do like Fallout 2, just not quite to the same amount. Just personal taste. But I do like Bethesda games in general, the setup and way they work. so I could see myself playing through those series at some point. Originally, I just said Elder Scrolls because that was the one I figured I would do first, but now with the popularity of the Fallout series, I could see myself maybe going with Fallout first. I don't know. We'll see. That's for another time, though. I'd also like to play City Skylines 2 when they finally get that game to be a functioning game. That would be great. Paradox, please, or Colossal Order. Yeah, Colossal Order, please fix your game. I paid money for it. I would like to be able to play it. Also, a game show. An idea I had was not Jeopardy, but similar-ish concept to a game show that I would host, and maybe do like on a monthly basis or something, and have some guests on each time, different guests, if I can. We'll see. That's definitely long term though. I have to figure out the logistics of that because that takes a good bit of effort for just one game. All the stuff you would need. Again, it's not going to be exact copy paste of any game show. I kind of have an idea for how I would want to do it, but there definitely would be some elements of other stuff that you may have seen before. So yeah, here are, I believe. Come on, slide. What are you doing? There we go. Here's my general information, social information. You're here on the Twitch, Unknown Entity Do. It's a great place. I'm glad you're here with me. I will be uploading VODs and stuff to YouTube as well, just under Do. There's a handle link you can find down below and in Discord. The only social media you'll see that I'm going to be running is a Blue Sky. Yes, trivia, by the way, June. Yeah, it'll generally be a trivia thing. Don't worry, I have some ideas to quote-unquote balance it, so you'll be fine, don't worry. It'll be a great time regardless. Anyway, Twitter and Facebook, you will never see me probably run accounts for ever. As far as I'm concerned, unless some drastic changes happen, I don't see myself returning them. So I will just kind of keep a minor Blue Sky thing and run it. That's fine by me. I don't care if it's not the most min-maxy thing. I'm not here for numbers, success, whatever. And then we'll get there, June. We'll get there. And my Discord is the Axtonia. But by the way, the Axtonia is a word that I've created that means essentially a secret magical society or community. Secret society implies other things, but it's my community. It's technically, I guess, my de facto fan name. I probably won't use it like that, but that is what it is called, and that is the name of our Discord. And you can find the link to that also below. And just click on the little panel image, I believe, is what you have to do. And as you can see, my hashtags, yes, duel34 is the NSFW tag. That enjoy that. I had fun with those. My name, I love the name I have. It's a great name, and it makes for making stuff like that. Great. Other than that one, you can see the big ones. Dart for art. The do live, do clip, standard stuff, and for memes, that is 5 do's, do, or do. 5 do's specifically, capital letters, or capital D's, lowercase u's. Those are the hashtags. Carrying on. Here's my credits. Not a lot, mostly because I don't have the resources to reach out to many people or the social capability, but thank you very much to BriniaSona for the lovely art that you see of me. He made that graciously, and I appreciate it very much. Other than that, I made most graphics, and more often than not, those graphics were shared with him, and I received feedback, lots of feedback on that type of thing, and tweaked things because of that, so thank you very much. Shami also assisted me with a few streaming learning things to get kind of set up and learn how things We're technically PNG. That's true. We are PNG siblings. What does that make Bree? I mean, Bree is the father, but he also has a PNG that he made. Does he like a father to himself as well? Is that how that works? I don't know how that works. Anyway, and both of them gave me lots of general support along the way with setting things up and learning how to do this. So thank you very much to both of them. Architect, you're the architect. You're not taking the father title. Okay, fair enough. That's the end. That's my introduction. Thank you for listening to me ramble about myself for 40 minutes. That was shorter than I thought it would be. Cool. Thanks for joining for that.